Oh, that is going to turn out amazing. But while that clay is drying, let's do a little knife review. What do we have here? Odin-Wolf, relative newcomer to the knife market. The company itself is based out of Germany, but they produce all their knives in China. Right now they only got two offerings, two models. They've got the W series and their budget-minded option, which is the Hunter Outdoor Knife, which is what this is, in kind of a blaze orange. Opening the box, you've got some care instructions, some go look at me Instagram cards, and then the knife itself, sitting in a very Mora style sheath, isn't it? Let's take a look at it. If you like the Mora sheath, you'll be right at home with this guy. The only real difference being the lack of the stacking lugs. And my only gripe with it is while the retention is actually pretty good. Got a nice solid click, good engagement there. It's got a bit of wobble. It's not horrendous, but I definitely wish it was not there. Now I'll throw all the specs up on the screen, but right off the bat, I gravitate towards that cool harpoon blade. Nice satin finish. It's got a hollow saber grind, unsharpened swedge at the tip. The secondary bevel, it's not perfectly ground. Looks to be about a 400 belt finish, 400 grit belt finish. There's room for improvement on your end, but out of the box, it comes shaving sharp, and it is perfectly serviceable. Thickness behind the edge here at the sharpening choil is quite stout indeed. But it's a nicely finished blade. The grip in general is actually really comfortable, especially in a hammer grip, and this textured TPE provides a decent amount of traction. Now, my real gripe with the handle is actually it's just too small. They did a lot of contouring here, and what that's done is just reduce the overall size of this handle, and it seems a little bit of, it's out of proportion, a little disproportionate to the blade size. It doesn't fill my hand the way I want to. It just feels a little bit small in that regard. Secondly, my preferred way of utilizing a blade is a pinch grip, especially for smaller tasks. And there's actually some excellent jimping here at the spine, but access to it is kind of restricted due to this contour and raised section here at the guard. It forces me to put my thumb higher on the spine than what I want in order to find some comfortable traction. I wish it were a little bit further down. If this were just flat right here, molded flat in line with the spine of the blade, you'd have a more comfortable and more ergonomic blade for me. On the plus side, you can tell the tang on this knife is quite robust. It is perfectly balanced, and you have a chunk of steel here on the blade side, which means there is a stout tang running all the way through this handle. And they've left a recession here for a lanyard loop. Nice touch, but man, is it have some sharp edges. I mean, you can shave, which I guess if you want to use it as a scrape, would be a functional use of this overly sharp edges here. But if you put a lanyard through this hole, it is going to braid whatever material you have, and you're just going to rip through your paracord or your leather. You can tell they tried to do a little bit, or maybe that's just from the punch that went through. Kind of some contouring, but it's not near enough. 420 steel. Look, 420 steel gets a lot of hate, namely because there are better options out there for not too much more money. So I get where people are coming from. With that said, 420 still serves an important role. It is so widely used and mass-produced that they're able to bring a big knife like this for $15. I guarantee the margins on this knife are slim at the moment. And 420 actually has a lot of characteristics that the average user really is going to appreciate, such as toughness, it's going to be corrosion resistant, and it's going to be extremely easy to sharpen. And those can be really important factors when you're determining a knife for a hike or for a camping trip. Something where you're not going to have a lot of sharpening gear present, like diamond plates to sharpen a high-end stainless steel. So if you need to sharpen this guy, heck, a ceramic mug at the bottom of that, you're going to get a decent hone off of this. If you need to sharpen it, a river rock, and no need to bring any extra gear whatsoever. So 420 still fills a role. It's tough, it's cheap, it holds a decent edge. You know, it's still used in a lot of kitchen knives, a lot of commercial grade knives. So it still is a fine blade steel. There are better options. I wish it were in something a little bit better. Heck, even like 420 HC would be a big step up. That would put it in line with actually this guy's big brother, the 440C. But I appreciate the price, and I'm willing to sacrifice edge retention and gain what this knife provides for 15 bucks shipped to your door. Now comes my favorite part of this. It's the competition. Right now there are hundreds of high quality, low cost options coming out of China and overseas. The Olden Wolf is a huge step up in quality over some of those frost cutlery kind of like gas station knives. But how does it compare with the kings of the budget fixed blades, Mora and Cold Steel? Let's take a look. Now you cannot speak to budget fixed blades without talking about Mora. They probably have the biggest lion's share of the market in this category. And coming in at 12 bucks, $3 cheaper than the Olden Wolf, is the Mora 511. And I'm going to be honest and say that I don't really love the 511. Ooh. I find it ugly. What an ugly duckling. It is cheap feeling. In general, it just doesn't tickle my pickle. The blade, way too small in relation to the handle. And while this is a perfectly capable knife, it just feels hollow. Both literally and figuratively. It's got this big, bulbous, soulless handle like a pontoon. Tiny little blade on here. Yeah, not my favorite whatsoever. That being said, the 511 does have its kind of redeeming qualities. Its price, I mean, it's a cheap knife. 12 bucks, you're getting a well-made, honestly, a well-made and completely usable blade for $12. Its weight, it weighs absolutely nothing, which aids kind of in that cheap feeling. And it's blade steel. I would prefer the high carbon blade in the Mora over the Olden Wolf 9 times out of 10. So there is that going for the Mora. But which knife am I packing out on the next camping adventure? Without a doubt, Olden Wolf beats the Mora for this one. Next challenger, for $16, only $1 more than the Olden Wolf, gets you the Mora Companion. Now this is a much more interesting race. See, I like the blade shape, the grind, the edge geometry, the blade width. I like that better on the Olden Wolf for sure. I'm actually not a huge fan of scanty grinds in general. However, the Mora's got a better handle. It fills my hand way better than the Olden Wolf does. If you hold these kind of in comparison, you can see just how much fatter, how much more hand filling that Mora is. Kind of line these up here. They did a lot of contouring on this, which is comfortable if you got smaller hands. But for me, the Mora it is an incredibly comfortable grip. This knife's not going anywhere in my hand. Now, some could argue that the Olden Wolf is going to be a stronger blade. It's got thicker steel, it's got more steel, and it's got a full through tang. But honestly, when was the last time you heard of a Mora failing in a standard knife task? This is a proven blade design. It is a very robust knife, and if you're going to treat your knife right, this will treat you well. The sheath is much better on the Mora as well. No rattle, and this is an old, well-used knife, and there's still no rattle. The sheath is still tight as it was from the factory. No rattle, and overall the package is much lighter, which is a trade-off. You got more blade steel here. This is going to be much better for food prep. This is going to be better for carving. It's really a toss-up between the two. Which one would I take? I think that really depends on what I'm going to be using it for. If I'm going out hiking, I'm going to take the Mora. If I'm doing bushcrafting, I'm doing the Mora. If I'm at camp, I'm more stationary, I'm doing more food prep, more generalized knife tasks, I'm probably going to take the Olden Wolf. Lastly, an oldie but a goodie, we've got this Cold Steel Pendleton Light Hunter. Now there's a few other Cold Steels in this kind of series that they've got going on as well. Kind of like the Roach Belly, the Canadian Belt Knife, and I think there's one other that have the same blade steel, the same handle construction, the same materials here. And this is a much smaller knife than the Olden Wolf. Put these side by side, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, look at the blade size difference between the two. The Cold Steel is just a significantly smaller knife overall, but it's just as capable. Utilizing the pinch grip of the Cold Steel, it's more comfortable. One thing that really grinds my gears is when knife makers or designers, they have such a huge gap in between the guard and the plunge. Where I want to be utilizing the blade is right here, close to my finger. You've got this nice guard to stop you from coming up. I want to be using this section of the blade, but it's almost like they tried to add a finger choil in here, but when you do that, it just ramps you right into the sharp edge of the knife. So, pinch grip, it's more comfortable to hold the knife in the pinch grip, but I hate that the blade is so far away from where I want to be actually using the knife. Like the Odin Wolf, I think this grip is just a little bit too small for a hammer grip. But the Odin Wolf at least has more comfortable grip and a lot more traction than this one. I've used this to process some game, and as soon as this gets wet, it gets incredibly slick. This is gonna give you a lot more traction in a wet environment. So while the Odin Wolf gets the overall nod in ergonomics, I actually prefer the blade on the Cold Steel. Like the Odin Wolf, it's got a hollow saber grind. It's got its sharpening choil. But I actually prefer the standard drop point traditional blade style over the harpoon of an Odin Wolf. And even though this is a much smaller blade, I feel like it's just not a lot of wasted space, not a lot of wasted material. It's lighter, it's capable, it does everything that this knife is going to do in a smaller package. Additionally, the blade steel that Cold Steel uses in these knives is like Krupp 116 or something like that. It's a real step up in quality over the Odin Wolf. This is just standard 420. I actually asked if it was 420 HC or anything like that, and they said no, it's just ANSI 420. So this is going to be a real step up in performance. This is more like 420 HC or 440C. It's going to hold its edge a lot better while retaining that ease of sharpening. I think if I were concerned with weight, I would actually take this knife, even though this sheath is atrocious. Granted, I just looked up this knife when I was trying to find the price on it. I think I paid like $15. This was years ago. They don't use this sheath. They actually have a poly sheath like the Moras now. So you're going to get a better sheath. I don't have that sheath on hand. Obviously, I've got this horrendous like Cordura woven nylon sheath, which is, you know, it does the job, but it's cheap and chintzy. But like I said, if I were concerned with weight, I'd probably take the Cold Steel. It's got a better blade steel, a simpler blade design that I actually prefer. The sheath kind of sucks on it, but it's kind of a non-issue if you're throwing it in a pack. Right now, I kind of have the slight preference towards the Odin Wolf. It's kind of new, and it looks way cooler than the Pendleton, doesn't it? I mean, I love this orange. The blade shape is cool looking. It has way better ergonomics than the Cold Steel, and it's just a more comfortable knife with a non-slip grip on here. And it's more robust. But if I'm concerned with weight, like I'm hiking, throw this in a pack, forget about it. If not, I'm going to stick with this guy. Overall, this knife really represents an incredible value. 15 bucks for this chunk of steel. And this is a well-finished blade. Sharp right out of the package. Let's see, get some paper here. Show you that. I mean, that is nice. This is a $15 knife. This comes razor sharp. I mean, it's just hair popping, shaving sharp. Awesome knife. Color is well made. It is comfortable. It's got this cool box for 15 bucks shipped to your door. And if you use the code IRON10 on your next purchase, you'll get 10% off at odinwolf.us. You can check out this knife. They've got a bunch of different colors. And you can also look at the top tier model, which is their W series knife. Again, they've got a bunch of different colors and sheath combinations for that knife. But thanks for watching, guys. It's always fun to check out a new knife, especially one that's such a bargain. Compare it with some of the other nice budget knives out there. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.